Well, welcome along to King Power Stadium for the very first game of this brand new season. The Foxes Championship campaign starts at home, just as it did 2 summers ago when the club won an immediate promotion back to the Premier League. Hopefully today is the start of another such season. Sheffield Wednesday provide today's opposition in a Leicester City and a King Power Stadium that is bathed in August sunshine. Welcome along to Matchday Live here for the very first time this season, as we're very excited. With me, Dan Bates, Steve Howard and Gerry Taggart are our guests today as we build up to kick-off. Against the team, Leicester obviously will be hoping to get the 3 points regardless of who they play. And today there's a really good chance of doing that. Firstly, hello to you both.
Hello.
Have we had nice summers? I was getting straight into football mode then. So let's get the pleasantries out of the way. Good summers?
Very good.
Well, you know all about mine anyway, Betsy. We've had this chat. So, yeah, it's been a good summer. I'm excited to be back and waiting and raring to get going.
Fantastic summer. Obviously, a bit of downtown, a few holidays, and then too many beers, but there you go.
And straight back to it. I'm sure you had a good one. And today, now I can ask you, Gerry, about the football, can I? Starting a season with a victory at home for any team, no matter what the league, no matter what level of football you play, that's what you want to do. Yeah,
especially when, like you said, you're playing your first game at home. There'll be a bit of, as usual, when you play a first game of the season, there's somewhat of an unknown aspect to it, especially going into a different league as well. Even though most of the players do know this league because they were in it 2 years ago, but a little bit of an unknown aspect against a team that, in fairness, have had issues. Have had their own issues in recent times. So there's a lot of expectation on the shoulders and a lot of pressure on Leicester's shoulders to get the win and get the 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, you just going into this campaign, it's a really important season. Obviously, what's happened last season, and the whole aim is to bounce straight back. And I think if you can start the first game of the season with a good win and a good performance, that's gets everybody behind the club again, and everybody's getting excited about this championship because it's going to be hard. We all know the championship's a really hard league to get out of. So it's going to be physical. It's going to be it's going to be a long all season, but you need to start straight away.
Yeah. Speaking of starting straight away, we'll get today's starting 11 for you in just a moment. Still to come, we're also going to hear from Marti Cifuentes, take a look back at last week's highlights in that friendly victory where Leicester was so good against Serie A side Fiorentina. But let's do today's team news then. From a Leicester City point of view, it is, of course, the first game in charge for new manager Marti Cifuentes. So it'll be interesting to see what he does, Gerry, with his very first starting 11. I think we got a little indication, didn't we, last week against Fiorentina. Yeah. Today we get the full indication, if you like, and it's a brand new number 1 and a brand new number 9 this season. Jakub Stolarczyk in goal and Jordan Ayew up top with their new numbers. So Stolarczyk is the goalkeeper. It's Justin Okoli, Vestergaard and Thomas across the back 4. Samare and Skip in midfield with Fatawu, Elkanous and Mavididi, a very frightening looking 3 in behind Jordan Ayew. On the bench, it's Begovic, Fass, Nelson, Winks, Chowdhury, Daka, Page, Monga and McAteer, with a very youthful, exciting, exuberant-looking squad of players there. We'll leave that on for just a moment, Gerry, for you to just assess and look at that and give us your initial reaction.
Yeah, as you say, no real surprise. Obviously, 2 changes from the team that started last week, if I'm right. Obviously, Chowdhury, James Schuss comes in for Chowdhury, and Jakub Stolarczyk comes in for Mads Hermansen. And as you said, last week we got the indication, normally the week before the season starts, when you play that final pre-season, the manager and the players themselves will want to be starting. If the team that starts the season wants to be starting that game the week before the season starts, and we've pretty much got that barring those 2. So no real surprises.
Yeah, we never know what might happen, Steve, obviously, come the end of the transfer window. But you look at that team and that looks exciting. That looks very, very good, doesn't it, for the championship?
It does on paper, yes, absolutely. With the two big lads centre halves, I think that's going to be key in this championship because obviously it's a brutal league, very physical. So the two lads at the back are going to have to be on, have a good season, the 2 of them. But it's just to see how Jordan Idou's obviously up front, you know, replacing obviously the Vards. So it'll be interesting because, you know, I was a bit, you know, sceptical about where the goals are going to come from. But obviously, you know, they've done well in pre-season. So hopefully, you know, I think he was the second highest goal scorer behind Vards. So we'll see how Jordan Idou does.
I think in an ideal world, Leicester would have already sorted that issue out. You know, the vacuum, the void that someone like Jamie Vardy leaves. And as you say, no, there is a couple of weeks left of the window, and you know, hopefully one or two things, one or two bits of movement this way, that way, whatever way can get done, and maybe we'll see one or two extra players coming into that into the squad.
Because it's going to be a huge, huge gap in the, you know, in the team. And it's going to take them adjusting, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
So if you replace them with somebody who's, you know, who's a proven goal scorer, that'll be it'll fill the void a little bit. But obviously, it's going to be hard.
You need someone, don't you, who's going to get you 15 to 20 goals, league goals in a season. If you're going to make a genuine push for promotion, then you need at least one player in your team that's going to get that amount of goals.
Yeah.
That is, I'm not saying it's a fact, but everyone knows in football that you need one player and everybody else chipping in and around. Double figures for the two wide players. El Canoes. Players like that need to get into double figures, but that is the kind of numbers you need to be achieving.
In fairness to Jordan Idou, in pre-season, Gerry, he has been on fire.
No, absolutely. And I think, and don't get me wrong, he well could be, but it also needs that competition for places. You know, I'm not sure what the feeling is still about Patson Taggart. We haven't seen too much of him. The game we did see of him, he scored 2 goals. So maybe they are happy, but I think genuinely, for me, you need someone who's... Well, you knew Jamie Vardy was nailed on for 20 goals a season, didn't you?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of striker that hopefully Leicester's probably still trying to look for.
Because as well, when you know when the games are close as well, you know, like 1-1,
absolutely.
You look at Vards thinking, well, he's going to score.
Yeah.
So, you know, or win this game, and I think that's, you know, the confidence that gives the whole side is what you need in the striker. So it's
and there's going to be lots of those games this season where it's tight and it's down to one moment of brilliance or opportunistic goal. I got there in the end, but and there's going to be lots of games like that.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take a look back at the highlights from that Fiorentina game in just a moment. Before that, it's a nice opportunity to remind you what is available for you this season on Fox's Hub. Every single game, every single kick is available for you to listen to. The best way to do that will be with a Listen Live seasonal pass that you can see on the right-hand side. They're sported very well by Steffi Mavididi. That costs just £45. That guarantees you commentary of every single minute of every single game of the season. There are game passes as well, the international seasonal passes available for you in certain territories, of course. Most games available to watch as well on Fox's Hub. So for all the information of what you need to do, all you need to do is head on to Fox's Hub. That'll tell you whatever territory you're in or wherever you are, what is available to you week by week. So that's the best place to look there, starting today, in fact. So in just over 20 minutes, of course, the Foxes kicking off their championship season. It was a brilliant day a week ago here at King Power Stadium, also in the sun, against a very strong Fiorentina side. The first time that Leicester fans here had the chance to see a Marti Cifuentes side in action, and boy, did they deliver on Filbert Way.
Leicester got relegated before. They were affronted by the fact they got relegated. They felt disgruntled. They were determined to show that they were better than that, get back into where supposedly they belong. Last year showed that they don't necessarily belong there automatically. They've got to raise themselves again.
And El Canoes to Ayew, who scores again in pre-season. And a very impressive opening 30 minutes against Fiorentina is rewarded with the opening goal. King Power Stadium's on its feet.
Sorry, Chris, I should have known to cut that short. I was just trying to squeeze that point in. But when I saw Fatawa with the ball, I thought, no, time to be quiet, Matt, because something normally happens. And it did. It all emanated from his forceful run. He slides the ball, good supporting run, which is going to be necessary.
A dangerous ball to skip, but
Yeah, it wasn't as dangerous as his initial option though. Sometimes, you know, he looked to play short and put the ball at risk on Furtado again.
Too good. Furtado is having quite an afternoon on his return to action. Brilliant. Simply stunning from Abdul Furtado. And that is why there is so much excitement about Leicester's right winger. Glorious goal. They are 2-0 up.
Oh, spectacular stuff from the Leicester wide man there. What a comeback performance in front of the home fans. He's been sadly missed. Last year he had moments of exhilaration. Unfortunately his time was cut short with that nasty injury, but you wouldn't know it. You would not know it at all. He's been the standout figure so far, and just too good for Fiorentina there. Again, he nipped past his opponent with increasing ease. He weighs up the situation.
Well, that was a terrific performance, wasn't it, against Fiorentina a week ago. We'll speak about that in a moment. But we're just seeing on live from pitchside, Gerry, Martí Cifuentes is walking around the whole of the pitch, doing a lap of honour, but an appreciation, I guess, for the supporters. This is what he's doing now. He's saying hello to everyone. He got a chance against Fiorentina to say hello to a number of the supporters today. We're expecting, hopefully, a full house, and the reception he's getting seems to be really well received.
Yeah, and he did the same last week, didn't he? After the game, he was having photographs and signing stuff for the fans after the game, and that's a really nice touch. And I think, you know, he's come into a difficult situation, and he's straight away showing everybody what he's all about, showing us and the fans his personality, what he wants to try and bring to this club, the way he wants to play. It's all super positive, and that's exactly what, you know, the fans especially need at this moment in time. That's
exactly what you needed, actually, after last season, the disappointment. And then, you needed a manager with full of positivity, and it's I totally agree with you, Gerry. It's a nice touch, that walking around, just saying hello to everybody.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
No, I don't think I have, to be honest. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, the players and he himself went around after the Fiorentina game. You don't often see it before, but this is his way of, he's really making a point of wanting to be part of the community, wanting to get to know the supporters. We'll hear from him in just a little bit here on Matchday Live, but we can leave these pictures on because this is exciting. This is good to see.
I think, you know, what he's doing and the messages he's sending out by what he's doing is that he wants everybody to buy into this. He wants the fans on side straight from the off. Obviously, there was, you know, chants last season that, you know, derogatory chants from the fans, and he's trying to reverse all that before the season kicks off and say, all right, okay, I'm here. This is who I am. I'm going to appreciate you. Will you appreciate me and the players from the kickoff? And so trying to get the fans back on side, which, in fairness, I'm not saying the fans aren't on side, but he's just going that extra mile, you know, to try and galvanise everybody. And of course, the fans are an integral part of that.
I think you made a good point there about, you know, everybody buying in. Because fair enough, you want the players to buy into the manager's ethos of the whole club, but him doing that, he wants the fans to be part of it. You know, if the fans feel part of the club, then, you know, when you have your little bad spells, they'll be right behind you, and that's exactly what he's trying to do there, which is fair play.
Yeah, I was out speaking to a number of supporters actually, Gerry, on the Brickweave a couple of hours ago, and just gauging the mood really of how fans are feeling ahead of the season, and it seems to be overwhelmingly positive, and he is probably a major reason why, actually, and just he's come in and he's done the right things and he's said the right things.
Yes, and that's important. It's important when a new manager comes in, they understand what they're letting themselves in for, and so he's probably done a little bit of due diligence in regards to that, and this is how he's responding. This is how he's given his positive messages over to the fans. We've seen the performance last week, which was excellent for the most part. I mean, the tempo the game was played at, the way he was, the players in the front line were closing down the opposition was exceptional at times. And if that's sort of an insight to how he wants to play, then it makes his job that little bit easier because it's exciting to watch.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's exciting to watch because I think last season obviously the games I watched, obviously Gerry seen every game, but it was very lacklustre, bit like boring, bit like, you know, no urgency at all. But obviously after the Florentina game, you know, they look sharp. Everyone looked excited for the season to start, and that's what you want when you go into the first game.
Yeah, he actually said a number of times, even in his opening interview that he did with us, that basically even if when his teams are 1-0 up late on in a game, they're going to push for a second. They're always wanting to be on the front foot, and you saw that with his QPR side, and I think his record with them spoke for itself. Really, they were languishing when he came in. And he completely turned them around 2 seasons ago. Had a decent season last year with not very much backing. So he's clearly got pedigree, and he knows exactly what he's doing in this league.
I think that's important as well, because it'll set the stall out straight away for other teams. You know, to look other teams looking at Leicester and thinking, right, they're really at it. You know, they're on the front foot, always pushing for the goals. And I think that filters down to the other teams to say, you know, we're going to have to up our game a little bit here, and hopefully, it'll be good championship-wise. You know, the high press, you know, and going for that second goal and killing the game off like that, obviously they didn't do last season.
Yeah. Well, let's hear again then from the man himself, then Martí Cifuentes. This is ahead of his first home game in charge of the club. I spoke there about his interview and talking about what he wants to do on the pitch. We just got a snippet there of him walking around, that he wants to get to know the supporters, the community here. And he actually asked us to take him into the city centre last week to take a look around Leicester itself and get a feel for the people, the culture and the club as well. Marty, you just got off the train here in Leicester. We're on New Walk. This is a walk that a number of supporters will do on a match day, of course, to get to the stadium. You yourself said you wanted to come out and see Leicester and get a feel for the city, get a feel for the people. So we've brought you here. Yeah, tell us what you think.
Well, excited to get to know the city. Obviously, the first couple of weeks have been busy, and we've been spending a lot of time both in the camp in Austria, but as well at Seagrave. And it's the first opportunity that I have to know the city, and looking forward to it.
I guess the thing for people from any city, whether that's abroad, whether that's here in England, there is an immense pride that people have for where they're from, not least Catalonians in Catalan, of course. So is that something that you wanted to really get a sense of then here in Leicester? Yeah, definitely. I'm aware about how the city is, with a lot of people from different parts of the world, and the fact that this is one club city. I think it makes it very important for everyone. So we're going to try to make sure that everybody is proud, and looking forward to understand more about it. I think that football is just an expression, and each club has their own identity, and that's the way it must be. We need to make sure that we align, and we need to make sure that our fans feel proud about the way, not only the way we play, but as well, as I said, the way we want to fight for the shirt, for the badge. I think that that's extremely important, that they feel that everybody's giving the best, and I'm sure that this is something that they will appreciate. So that's an important thing for you, is seeing the players then giving 100%, because that's everything supporters want to hear, I think.
You know, sometimes it becomes a little bit like a topic, but that's the reality. Nowadays in football, games are so demanding from a physical point of view, and we need to do it by playing a certain brand of football. So we want to put the ball on the ground, we want to make sure that we play an attacking football, but there is a foundation, and this foundation is the one that a league like Championship will demand, but as well the standards that we want to play. We need to make sure that we're at our best, and this is a bit part of my philosophy and my way of being as a manager, as a human being. I want to be better, and I want the people around me to make me better, and I want to get the best of all of them. So I think that will be the deal and the foundation.
That was Martí Cifuentes there walking around at Leicester City Centre, talking about the club and the feel of his new club. This is Matchday Live. Steve Howard and Gerry Taggart are alongside me here in the studio. Steve, you said you've seen that piece already, actually, on social media this week. That says a lot about him, doesn't it? Wanting to go out there and get a feel for where he is the manager of now. Yeah,
absolutely. You know, you don't get many managers doing that. And, you know, we've just commented on walking around the pitch there, but you don't see many managers walking in the city centre, you know, and trying to get a feel of the place. And he's buying into Leicester, and he's trying to make everybody see he wants to be here, he wants to be successful. And, you know, he's just chatting away there. He wants his team, you know, to really buy into his way he coaches. And I think he wants the fans to do that as well, and that's obviously why he's going around the streets.
Yeah, I mean, again, another great touch. All the signals that are coming out are positive. And I suppose, if you're going to do that as a manager when you come into a football club, you have to try and emulate that by what you're going to see on the pitch at the end of the day. And what the fans seen last week on the pitch, hopefully, is a sign of what's to come this season. And I think if the players emulate what the manager wants or try and replicate what they seen last week against Fiorentina, then Leicester will have a good season. The football will be exciting. The fans will buy into it. And that then brings its own positivity between everybody. And it brings everybody closer together as a football club.
Yeah, and Steve, obviously, absolutely no disrespect meant to one of your former clubs today, Sheffield Wednesday, of course. We know that there's a lot going on off the pitch there, which that's all we'll say on the matter. But actually, in terms of on the pitch, Leicester today probably couldn't have wished for a better first opposition, do you think, at home?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's, it's a bit of a unknown because you don't know how, the Sheffield Wednesday players are going to react. They could come together or it could be an absolute shambles. You don't know. But I think even, of the recent friendlies that Leicester been playing, I think they'll have more than enough for Sheff Wed. And obviously with the players' minds, the Sheffield Wednesday players' minds elsewhere, it could be just the prime time to play them.
And a great chance to start the season, Gerry, with 3 points as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think every time you start the season at home, you're giving yourself the best chance to win a game anyway. And obviously, what's going on at Sheffield Wednesday, and Steve's right, it's all about the mindset of the players. It either goes for you or it goes against you, if you believe everything you read about what's happening at Sheffield Wednesday. We don't know the mindset of the modern day player. We just know our own.
But final point then to you, Gerry, again, starting in front of the supporters, getting that victory, that will mean an awful lot and it will keep the fans coming again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think number one, it's all about the performance levels. Yeah. They need to see that spark on the pitch. What happens after that, heavens only knows, and that is the reality of football. But if they show that intensity and that tempo and that aggression that they showed last week, then you've got to fancy Leicester to take home all 3 points.
Hopefully so. Thank you to Steve Howard and to Gerry Taggart for their company. This afternoon we'll hear again from these guys at half-time and then again at full-time at the end of Leicester's first championship game of this new season. As ever, and with every game this season, you can follow all of the action with us on Fox's Hub. The best place to find out more information on that is, of course, on the website and on Fox's Hub as well. Sheffield Wednesday are the visitors to King Power Stadium for this first home game of the brand new season. We'll hand over, Gerry, in just a moment, just while we're waiting for the commentary team. And Steve, again, just speaking about that, starting with a win is so important.
Absolutely. You exciting win. That's what you want. The first game of the season at home. Exciting, good win. That's what you need to give everybody a lift.
Lovely. All right, let's hand over then to our commentary team for this afternoon. In place for us is Matt Elliott and John Dunn.
If you are watching on lcfc.com, just sit back and relax. If you are watching on social media, the live stream will finish shortly. If you want to continue enjoying our coverage, you'll need to head over to lcfc.com/Fox's Hub and purchase one of our game passes. If you are watching in a territory where the game isn't live on TV, you'll be able to watch a live video stream on Fox's Hub. Please visit lcfc.com/territories to check. If you can't find your location, live audio commentary is still available. You'll need to have an lcfc.com account before you purchase your Game Pass. If you already have one, please sign in and select your product at lcfc.com/Fox's Hub. Select the Buy button and you'll be taken to the payment page. Once you've followed the simple payment steps, press Continue at the bottom of the screen and you'll be taken to the Fox's Hub homepage. If you purchased a video pass, please select Watch Live from the Fox's Hub drop-down menu. If you purchased a Listen Live pass, please select Listen Live. If you purchased a seasonal or monthly video pass and the game is not being shown in your territory, please select Listen Live. If you are having a payment or technical issue, please email Leicester TV Support at streamamg.com. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the match.